issue for all this is giving deaf people power, empowerment. And we are not sure about the situation in Qatar and the life of deaf people in Qatar, how they feel. Stop. Stop.
I ask first, if you don't mind. Yeah, but this is a work that needs to be documented also. Not every day we do something like that.
The social status, the psychology, how we feel psychological in Qatar, deaf people, the everyday life. And how it is for them in their families, their leisure time, and work life. Because schooling is one thing, but what about their leisure time, their family lives? Being the only one deaf member in the family.
Maybe you can translate to the guys also that one of the issues that they've been asking for is how to educate the parents how to deal with their kids when they are deaf. This is very important for them because I think the schools so far, they don't have that abundance of knowledge how to deal with their kids.
Of course, primarily it's about the children, but it's a lot of other issues connected to this. Here in Sweden, we have also the children of deaf parents and how are their situation. So often their situation is forgotten because how the deaf parents live their life has an impact on the children.
Definitely. That's why early diagnosis.
Even in their homes, in their private life, the communication, and their self-esteem, all that has an impact on their own school situation. I mean, the children of deaf parents, so everything is linked to each other. It's like a chain reaction, so to say.
And also early diagnose of that, because there might be parents who have children, they don't know if their kids are having trouble with hearing or not. So they need also to increase their awareness of how to diagnose the kid when they start first to see some symptoms of deaf.
Absolutely. Of course, that's very important. If you have a hearing impairment, then it's necessary to give them what they need, what they are in need of. And here we are using different kind of technical methods to be sure of the diagnosis. I have two children, 5 and 7 years old, and when they were born, they used a machine to screen their hearing instantly when they were born. So that's a simple way to see if they have a hearing impairment or not. Or even you can see if they have some water left in their ears. So if they discover some problems, then they can do another examination in the depth. So both my children, they have a hearing impairment, and we could see that early already when they were born. after a couple of days, they did that screening so we could see that they had a hearing impairment. And after that, we could discuss if we should give them a hearing aid or what help they were in need of. But often everything is based on a medical perspective. Give them technical aids, hearing aid to adjust their hearing. But it's still important that sign language should still be a part of it.
I just want to comment on what he said earlier. The guys in Qatar are basically telling us, share your knowledge with us. And maybe with this sharing, we can couple it with what we know, and then we reach to something that can fit us. Maybe what you use here is not 100% fitting their culture, their understanding, their society, but with this sharing of knowledge between you and them, maybe they can compromise and reach to a formula where it works there. Maybe we can help them to reach to this formula. That's also part of the mission that we are working on right now, by the way.
And I agree. I totally agree. And it's very important in the cooperation with Qatar that we learn their context, their culture. If there is something about their religion, so we can get an understanding how the deaf community looks like, because they are so clear significations, connection. If you get that understanding, then we can start off as a starting point from their context and culture. My value, my Western world value shouldn't be dominated. If it works in their context, great, but still you have to respect and see. And everything should be based on their culture and their context. One of the things that they want to teach their kids on, for example, religious rituals. How they pray, for example. How to know that there is God. Because these things are something difficult for someone to teach a deaf person. Maybe, guys, you have better knowledge than them to reach to that. I'm not familiar with the Qatar context, but I know that many countries they are ashamed of deaf children.
Yeah, definitely.
And they feel that this is a punishment from God. We got a deaf kid, this is punishment.
No, but not the case. No, they think whatever they happen, they say thanks God. This is whatever comes from God, it's fine. That's the mentality there.
But you said here that only for 30 years ago they put the deaf kids away. Based on what?
You see, it's also has to do with what category in the society those people are. There are different classes in the society. So
they are.
Yeah. So the low class people, they rather low education also, because education has a lot to do with that also. Yeah. And
do you know anything if they have any deaf organizations, deaf clubs in Qatar?
No.
Maybe
that's what we're dealing with. That's the only thing that we are dealing with right now. But they are trying to help deaf people in every possible way, which is good.
My feeling is that in the whole world, deaf people, they have some gathering places, and I've been visiting different countries, and officially they say we don't have any deaf organization, but when you come into the country, so my feeling is that they have a deaf club and deaf organization, but it's not found yet.
Let's say
So,
I'm not 100% sure of that. But what I know about Qatar, this is the only that deals with children, with kids. Maybe for elders they have, I don't know. Yeah. But the other day I have seen a film, documentary on Qatar TV about a boy, actually, a guy who is a deaf and he has children, he's married, and he is working as a mechanic. And that was on the Qatar TV, and they were appreciating that. I mean, just to show that on TV, to show this model, this experiment, this experience is something very good, actually. So I feel like there are good intentions to develop the situation in which deaf people are living in that country.
I think if you go there, I think you will find deaf adults, and so they also. So I think you know more about how they live and how they do, and if they meet other deaf, and how and where they meet, and I think that will give us a lot of answers.
Probably, yeah,
because
probably.
I think that it has to be some kind of network or something like that in Qatar, but I think it's hard to find. So that's why I think it's good to start a collaboration with them, to go to maybe the school you have, the school for deaf, or do they have some kind of role models, or how does it work, or do they use a sign, or is they just trying to vocalize or speak?
Yes, maybe we can help them to network also with other organizations like adult deaf with younger deaf, and maybe they can share their experience, help each other, especially with the fact that the culture of Middle East, it is more like the youngers listen to elders, understand their experience in life, try to copy their experience in life, considering that those elders are sort of models for those youngers. This is how they...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of logic. But if you come there, then you could give them some tools.
Yes.
So they could have the opportunity to educate younger deaf. So it's just not they don't have to be dependent on the Western countries. Because I think it's better to give them the tools so they can use that in their daily life.
Definitely. Don't give him a fish, but give him a line to fish. Okay. We'll take what's on the board.
And now discussing the Swedish context and the situation here in Örebro. Now we want to check if Qatar was a participant in the Deaf Olympics in Taiwan recently, 2009, the last Deaf Olympics.
Yeah.
The Olympic Games for deaf.
It's very good to focus on the sport, by the way, because Qatar as a country, they want to be seen, to be known in the world through sports?
I can just quickly check it out if Qatar
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a participant.
Yeah.